Hi, and welcome to Rest Stops, short features to encourage you toward greater life balance. My name is Tammy, and here's my husband Ralph with today's Rest Stop.
Hi, and welcome to this week's Rest Stop. Last week, my wife Tammy and I spent a few days in the mountains of North Carolina to celebrate our 40th wedding anniversary. It was a restful and a relaxing time. On our third day, though, we had a brief period of stress. After a leisurely breakfast, we were walking along an old section of Asheville that had many different shops selling their wares and services. On this particular street, we visited a flower and craft shop and spent several minutes inside looking around and engaged in a pleasant conversation with the owner. Next, we walked across the street to a coffee shop recommended by the owner of the shop. As we walked in, we both felt a darkness and a heaviness. We stayed just long enough to buy a cup of coffee and left the shop. The colors on the wall, the decor, and the artwork were very dark and unsettling. Several other shops along this section had a similar vibe. And as we walked down the street, we discussed the darkness we both sensed and our sadness over the spiritual oppression that was very evident. We sat on a nearby bench to drink our coffee and overheard a customer and a server talking at an outside cafe. They obviously knew one another, and they were catching up on life and things they were both going through, when one of them said to the other, "You know, you have to live your own truth." Well, Tammy picked up on this immediately, and as we continued our walk to a more pleasant environment, we went to a candle shop and made anniversary candles, which was a blast. But as we continued walking, we talked about the joy we've experienced over the past 40 years, living out the truth that Jesus taught about in His Word versus the world's vision of live your own truth, where everyone does what's right in their own eyes. In John 14:6, Jesus says, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father but through me." That means any other way is a false path. Any other version of truth is a lie, and a life without Him is not true life at all. You know, millions upon millions of people spend their lives pursuing false paths that supposedly lead to success and happiness by pursuing power, position, prestige, money, going after their brand of truth, thinking they have achieved life, only to find out they aren't really living at all. Over the past 70 weeks of writing weekly blogs on rest and life balance, I've covered numerous topics on physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I've posted on exercise, sleep, nutrition, contentment, finances, materialism, minimalism, and a variety of other subjects. None, however, is more important than coming to grips with the truth of God's Word. You may adopt healthy habits and benefit from the other topics I've written about, but until you embrace truth and get this one right, the others will only lead to temporary fixes that will never lead to true life balance, true rest, and true life. Interesting. Tammy and I have always enjoyed making and burning candles. We still have the original candle from our wedding ceremony on our bedroom dresser. It has John 13:34 on one side. "This I command you, that you love one another, as I have loved you." And on the other side it says, "We walk in the light, the truth of His love."